It's time for the Steve and Kyle podcast with Steve.
There's a difference in casually doing that and enjoying it with friends between people who are like, hey, I'm going to do this seriously. I want to go to a BMX course and all that stuff. You are of the former, not of the latter. So that is in your brain now of something you think you might do?
Kyle, I went to a bike shop yesterday.
Oh, my God almighty.
Kyle.
Kyle, are you a fan of wild Alaskan salmon oil?
It's the only salmon I eat, Steve.
Soft chews?
Oh.
These don't expire until August.
Oh, those are fresh.
You want to try one?
I think the picture on the front, I think it is for, dogs.
Jesus Christ. How do you know?
Live on tape from APS 3 point whatever, it's the Steve and Kyle podcast.
I wish I could say that was not... I wish I could say that I had done that as a joke. I did not.
I just sat down and I realized I have in my brain right now swirling about 20 different things that I've wanted to ask you, talk about.
All right, let's get right into it.
Get updated on. But I already realized we don't have time.
Hold on. This is something that you don't hear often on this podcast. Wait, I'm going to dip that down. That's right. I'm still drinking my coffee because it's 7:29 a.m.
Folks, this is a goofy one.
You were in my driveway a half hour ago.
I was
still in bed.
Were you?
I was still 100% asleep.
I saw some darkness in the home, and luckily, I had the foresight to say, I'm not going to go knock.
That was a smart move. I think we had said, oh, yeah, let's try to get going by 7:30, and I took that to heart and fell asleep on the couch last night. My plan was, of course, my master plan was, okay, I'm just going to get everything set up the night before. I'm going to have like our on-air light plugged in and all the buttons pressed. And basically, we're just going to have to walk in the door, hit record.
Wiping our eyes from, barely being awake, and we're just going to start talking.
Yeah. By the way, you're going to have to let me know if everything sounds okay because I'm wearing different headphones and it sounds bonkers to me.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah.
Just the in-ear experience is a bit different. Well,
No good.
So should we apologize to our listeners for the past 9 years? Because that's the way it really sounds.
Right, exactly. So my plan, like I said, set everything up last night. So we just have to walk in the door, hit record. What do? Promptly fall asleep on the couch. I woke up at 4 a.m. on the couch and made my way up to bed. Did have the foresight to set my alarm for 7.
Oh,
now,
nice.
Normally I wake up at about 7:30 on the weekends. So my alarm goes off at 7. Grab my phone. First thing I see, a text from you saying, on my way, in your neighborhood, in your driveway, I'm not going to knock. And I was like, Annette was already awake. I was like,
Oh, she was. Okay.
I'm like, oh, Kyle's already here. So I fire back a text. Yeah, give me 5 minutes. I'm totally ready. Just not quite 100% ready.
I expected to walk in with you in your 5-piece suit on.
Right. Yeah. With a frying pan flipping eggs.
Yeah.
And
you had 2 omelets going, one in each hand. And
not the case.
And a kid being held up crisscross applesauce in the crook of your knee.
Yeah.
Because you were doing it all this morning.
Right. Not quite the case. So.
And listen, I need to apologize because I feel bad. This early out of the ordinary recording is on me.
That's fine.
And it's probably the worst day for you in terms of there's just a lot going on.
Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff today. But honestly, if we could record at 7:30 every weekend, I would do it every single time. I enjoy getting it done. I'm just based on my job, I'm naturally
you're up.
I'm up. This is when I'm normally working. I'm normally in the trenches at this time.
Let me give you a proposal then.
Okay.
So we can figure out the optimal time that we want to record this podcast. What do you think about this? We start at a determined time, and then every single episode after that, every week, we start 30 minutes earlier.
Okay.
Until we finally get to the point where we decide, hey, this is too early. So then we know this one's too early.
Yeah.
And this one's too late.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, hey, 11:30 is too late because we're not getting done until 1:30, whatever. But 4 in the morning is also too early because by the time we're done, the world still hasn't started and it's 5:30 in the morning.
Okay.
Should we start that like next week?
Why don't we sit on that one for a bit? Let that one bounce around in the brain a bit.
I kind of like the idea of just seeing what a 4:30 a.m. podcast feels like.
I do like the idea of us, like when we're done today, we just go to some randomizer on the internet and type in, what time should we record next week? And then it just tells us, bam! Kind of like when we were figuring out where we were going to put up a billboard.
Yeah.
And we threw a dart at the wall and it landed on Van Wert, Ohio.
Yes.
Something similar to that. Maybe we can, I got a dartboard. We can bring a dartboard down here. We'll just kind of, a dartboard's basically a clock, right? We got our chicken clock up there. All we need is those little rubber suction cup darts.
I like
Boink.
that idea of why we have to explain to your wife why I will be coming over and knocking on the door.
Yeah.
At 2 in the morning.
Yeah, because I want you to skip up the driveway,
Yep.
come to the door as if it's,
The same.
11 a.m. on a Saturday. And I want to be able to say to my wife, what do you mean, why is Kyle here? It's podcast time.
It's pod time.
PT.
That I've wanted to ask you for a while, and this is as good a day of any to pick your brain on this.
Yeah,
because
let's go. Let's get it all out because we got a hard out. And I want to make sure that you make the big game today.
Got the world's most important 6-year-old baseball game coming up today. And then tomorrow we were both preoccupied. You had something going on with your wife, and I have decided to, I can't explain why, to buy Detroit Pistons playoff tickets.
Whoa.
And travel across the state for the entire day.
I'm impressed at how your fandom has really amped up with these teams becoming good in these last couple of years.
Steve, I'm getting out there, and I would be lying if I said it had nothing to do with between last year and this year. The idea of the New Year's resolutions and saying, hey, get out there and do other things, because I hadn't been to many sporting events in a long time.
Yeah.
But I decided a while ago to make events that I'm going to go to kind of event driven. I don't want to go to just, a pre-season game for a team I casually enjoy. I want to make it count. I want to go to the Masters. I want to, things like that are, hey, you might only do once ever.
Yeah.
They're important in the athletic universe.
Yeah.
Like to 85% of the world, they don't care about Augusta, Georgia.
Right.
Right. But to me, I'm like, hey, that I would probably only ever do that once. So I saw the Pistons were home in the playoffs, and I thought it's the first time they've been in the playoffs in 7 years. They haven't won a home playoff game in 19 years or 18 years. I thought, I'm going to look into it. So I sent Katie as a little feeler, right? And I sent her a link.
Yeah.
A link. And she was like, oh, yeah, well, who do we get to watch Reed? And I thought about it for a couple of days, and I thought, you know what? Forget it. We're all going.
So Reed's coming too.
We're all going.
Okay.
The family of 3 is headed across the state tomorrow for Detroit Pistons game versus the Knicks, game 4.
And what time is that at?
That's at 1.
Okay, so you got a day game?
It worked out perfect.
This is perfect.
It worked out perfect. So, yeah, I found seats that were like all you can eat. And
they got all you can eat seats at basketball games?
Hot dogs, chips, soda, water, popcorn, all this stuff.
I might need to get into basketball.
I can't wait.
Wait, is there a game going on too?
I don't think secondary.
Okay.
But that's not the point.
Yeah.
There's just a lot going on this weekend that I wanted to ask you. This is you've now been with the side gig for 15 years, right? 2010,
Closing
late
in on
2009?
16. Closing in on 16 years.
What do you think about that? And the fact that we've been doing this podcast for 8. What do you think is more important?
Oh, it's obvious. I mean,
no need to even answer.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to even say it because for obvious reasons, I don't want to hurt feelings.
No question. And we know that, they're probably not going to hear the hurt feelings, but I get it.
Whoever won't hear the hurt feelings could be either side, but we won't say.
Right. What you're saying.
What I will say is one of them pays the bills.
And what you're saying is both sides had good people.
I can, I can see the pros and cons from both perspectives.
But tonight you have I don't want to guess. Do you know what tonight is in terms of how many of these night shows you've gone to? Or not gone to, but how many of these live at night shows you've done?
Oh, boy. Total? Just in this town or total?
Either way. Either way.
Okay. I mean, let's see, in this town, in our hometown, I think this is our 10th, 9th or 10th.
Okay. Yeah, because the show hasn't been traveling for the duration of your time here, but pretty close to it.
Pretty close to it, yeah.
It didn't become a thing until a few years in. So
it was kind of like when I started in 2009, that was one of the big reasons that I started, is because they needed somebody who would be back here while the show was traveling. Because it wasn't until like I started in 2009. It was like 2013 or 2014 when then I started traveling regularly. And you were the guy back in the studio.
Correct. Yeah. What does it feel like for you on the day of one of these? Because one, it's a later night, and that in terms of things going on and how it impacts you, that's among the least impactful. But it's a longer day for you. It's a later night for you.
Yeah.
What does that do for you mentally and physically when you wake up to the day that you know there's going to be hundreds of people saying,
thousands,
hundreds of thousands of people,
hundreds of thousands
saying, "Make me laugh, monkey," in like 9 hours.
Yeah, dance monkey dance.
And some of those people, you don't know exactly how it's going to go. I'm curious on a day for you for this type of show, because I don't know the last time I was in front of a large group of people doing something like this, right? And I've never been in front of a large group of people saying, "Make me laugh," or "Involve me." What goes through your head today? Because it's not like you were 8 years old doing jazz hands in front of the classroom.
I mean, you don't know that for sure.
So this idea of performing in front of people, especially when you're going to school for broadcasting, and especially, when you're working at the NHL, you're talking puck. Yeah,
Hey, Bettman.
Hey, Gare, get in here. I want to talk about the third line on the Tampa Bay D. Ever heard of this Hammerlit guy?
Yeah, Czechoslovakian left-handed shooter.
How does that go for you? Because this isn't something you anticipated 20 years ago.
No, it's
the Monmouth fighting Hawks.
Just the Hawks.
Just the Hawks.
Just the Hawks. It's weird because, like you said, it's not something I ever expected doing. Today, totally normal. Sure, recording podcasts at 7:30, little inconvenient, but look, baseball's got priority. I know that your coach was
we were being herded this morning.
Coach sent out the last minute email saying, "Hey, the game has changed. We're not going to get into that. That's a
0900.
0900, yeah. Strict policy. 0900 games. No. Is it 1000 or is it just 1000?
Oh no.
Because that doesn't sound. Or is it 1000?
I feel it. Oh no. I'll post all of the options on the poll because that's a really good question. And now we sound like idiots.
But
right?
you have to spell it out like.
Oh yeah.
OH-10-100. Yeah.
Should I ask him when we get there?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Definitely do that. So yeah, today's a busy day. Super nervous as always.
Okay, so you are. So the nerves do hit you.
Yeah.
Which I think even seasoned professionals, right, saying comedians, performers, whatever, would say, my gut tells me still, before the light goes on for John Mulaney on whatever his new show is.
Yeah.
Right? What live lately? I don't know what it's called. But it's a live talk show for John Mulaney. I would bet that still hits him a little bit. Maybe not as much, but he's still getting some level of nerves before.
Yeah, I would assume that if you don't, then, I don't know, you're not doing the right thing. Like, you're a little too comfortable. For me, I don't really care about the, it doesn't worry me that there's a lot of people and that everyone's focused up on the stage. For me, it's always the technical stuff, because at those shows I have to control a lot of that things. I have to control a lot of those things, like the audio visual. Yeah, it's like, oh, we're going to play this video. We're going to play this piece of audio. That is the stuff that drives me nuts.
Because everybody's probably looking up at you, and they're looking up at everybody. They're like, hey, what are you doing right now? Mm-hmm. I'm sitting here with a beer in my hand, and I'm ready to laugh, and Steve's, monkeying with tech stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like sending messages on computers.
So I've always kind of wondered this. Does it physically drain you? Even though it's not like you're doing, circuit training up there.
Well, look, I mean,
you're in the trenches.
I'm in the trenches. It's an elevated trench. So
you're higher than everybody.
I start out higher up than everybody.
Yeah.
So when I dig the trench, I'm kind of coming down to the normal person's level.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
But still in the trenches.
Still, obviously.
Because there's a mound of trench that separates me from the layperson.
What does it do for you mentally and physically? Because for me, the nerves, the anxiety, the effort, the performance of it all, and then, meeting all the hooligans that are out to say hi to you and say, hey, love the podcast. Who are these guys up here with you?
Right, yeah.
Would so drain me that I feel like the next 24 hours of my day in life would be dead to the world.
No, I'll be all right. Tomorrow, I'll be tired, but for me, the absolute best part of it is when the intro is playing and then we finally just walk out on stage, because I feel like at that point, I'm like, all right, I've done all the prep I can do. Mm-hmm. It's sink or swim at this point.
Sure.
Hopefully I'm going to swim. But I have the anxiety leading up to it. Once we're in the moment, I'm pretty good.
I don't want any dates or locations or anything, but I'm kind of curious. Now you mentioned the sink or swim. Has there been one, maybe two, maybe a dozen that you look back? Okay.
Yeah. I'll tell you exactly when it was.
And you're comfortable if you went into work Monday and you said, "Hey, stop the oohs, the ahs."
Mm-hmm. What's the worst night show we've ever done? Everybody in unison, or at least the people in the room that were there, would all say, we'd go 3, 2, 1. New Jersey.
Really?
It was awful.
And would you guys still, and they would, but you guys have been back for a night show since then.
No, not for a night show. We've been back and the reason I feel comfortable saying it is because there's been so much turnover there that none of the people that were there at the time are still associated. And there's not hard feelings or anything like that. They tried to do something a little bit different. It failed miserably.
Oh, no. Did you feel it failing in the moment?
We felt it failing a week before.
Oh, wow. And
so
there was no way to turn the car around, hey, it's sorry, the brick wall's coming. No. We got to hit it to show them.
They took a completely different approach, and it just failed miserably.
I would love to know now if there's a listener who's listening to this podcast today who maybe went to that.
Oh, I don't want to know that.
Would it have been the last New Jersey night show then, right?
Honestly, I think that it was the only New Jersey night show.
Okay.
I think that in the room, I think it was okay. I feel like we still entertained people. But we have the ability to compare them to the other ones that we've done. So we know what it can be. It sounds really it sounds like I'm making it out to be like we're some big deal, but we've seen how cool the show can be and the showbiz and everything, and when something goes right and when the crowd is right, when the lighting is good and the music is good and everything, we always look at the inside, the showbiz aspect of it. What's going to be the coolest part for somebody who's coming to see this? If this is their only time ever coming to something like this is how we want it to be. We have our model, and it's we just try to pass this out to all of the stations. And sometimes stations go a little bit rogue and they say, why don't we do it like this? Mm-hmm. And sometimes, to their credit, great ideas. And there have been plenty of times that we've taken aspects that we didn't think would ever work, and we're like, man, that worked so great. We're going to incorporate that into all the other shows that we do everywhere else. But this one was just a disaster.
I don't want to diminish what you guys are doing here because, like you said, it's thousands of people, sometimes hundreds, sometimes thousands of people into these buildings. That's an insane thing to do. Now, granted, we get a dozen people in a carpet liquidation factory parking lot in Van Wert, Ohio. Yes, we did, Steve.
Yeah, I mean,
okay. So has the
side gig done that? I don't remember.
Is gathering people in a certain place hard? I don't know. Some people might say so.
But we digress.
So this hits you today, and you're going through it tonight. Is it just overwhelming positive feeling throughout, or are you just constantly sitting there going, oh, I screwed that up, or oh boy, that should have been a bigger laugh, stuff like that? Because I know how I would go, and I think you know how I would go too. I would just be
everybody hates us. Why are they here? They're the gun to their head. They had to be here.
There were 4 people in those seats an half hour ago. Why did they leave?
Yeah, no. I'm confident that we're able to put on a good show. I'm always confident in us.
Sure.
Everything else, anything that's out of my control, and I've spent extensive hours in therapy talking about this. Anything that's out of my control, I struggle with.
Yeah.
Because I'm constantly worrying. There's one point in particular that stresses me out more than anything else. And we have an intro that plays, a video intro that plays.
You guys do all the recording, and it's if I remember correctly, it used to be the old one, or one of the ones that I've seen is costume filled, antics filled.
Oh yeah. We went to one of the TV stations here. We have a friend that works there. We worked with him for like a couple of weeks putting together this big script and everything, and it turned out so funny, and we're really, really proud of it. But there's a point when the crowd is filing in, there's a big screen up on stage, and it's basically mirroring what's on my screen on my computer. And at some point, I just need someone to go out on stage and boop, tap the space bar that starts the intro. So that's people on walkie-talkies and little like, okay, are we ready? Okay, lights down. Okay, sound up. Bah, 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 bah.
This is all the tech people are scrambling right now, and you need one button pushed.
I need one button pushed.
The show is hinging on this one button.
Yeah.
Not saying the show will not happen, but it's all waiting for this button to be pushed so the introduction can be played.
I need one person to walk out on stage.
Yeah.
And because I don't want to be the idiot that has to walk out and do it. Yeah. I want the showbiz.
Right.
So there needs to be coordination between me, the rest of the show, and the sound people and the AV people and the stage manager and everything.
Say no more.
What?
I'm happy to help.
Oh. So
listen, enough of the beating around the bush.
So
you need a reliable number 2. Steve, listen, I've heard it all before. You need a spacebar presser. And I'm telling you right now,
an SBP?
I got 10 of these babies that are ready to be put to work.
So 12 hours out from the show, you're now volunteering your services to be the SBP, spacebar pusher.
You don't have to thank me now.
Spacebar, one word or 2?
I'd prefer 2.
I think it's just 1.
But it probably is 1, but I gotta tell you, I'd prefer 2.
SP doesn't sound right.
It doesn't.
SBP.
Yeah, I need the 3 letters for the acronym for my shirt that we need to print in the next 12 hours. So everybody knows what I'm doing.
It just says SBP. And maybe just has a big space bar on it.
Yeah.
Look, we got the Cricut corners.
We got the Cricut and a 3D printer.
Corner.
If we can't make a shirt in 12 hours, what have all we've done been used for? I'm happy to help. And listen, before you mentioned that you were in dire need of an assistant for this evening.
An SBP.
Yeah. I had a different spot I was going to volunteer for. Because I didn't know if you needed something like this. Let's say so the show starts at 7 o'clock?
Doors at 7, show at 8.
Okay, so it's 1900 and 2000?
Yeah, 1900 and
2000?
2000?
200? 2000? Boy, you think Johnny Chef's awake in Japan? What time is it in Japan?
I think it's like why would I even act like I have any idea? I was going to say, I think it's like 12 hours.
It's half a day. Which way, though? It'd be the same
I guess it
either way.
doesn't matter. Yeah, it's either yesterday or tomorrow.
Hey, John, what's yesterday like?
Oh, no, it wouldn't be. It would be yesterday or later today.
God, it's...
Unless it's noon here, then it could go either way.
When you realize how dumb we actually are,
it's
kind of jarring. But I was willing to step in because I don't know if you're going to need this, want this, or get this. So
It's already tonight in Japan, by the way.
It is. Okay.
It
So
looks like they're 13 hours ahead.
Konnichiwa, and enjoy your dinner if you're eating, at 8 o'clock.
Yep.
I want to know, so doors open at 7. So I would assume you're someone who, are you bringing your phone on the stage? Are you locking it away, putting it away in the green room?
Kind of hit or miss. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't.
Let's say 12 hours from this, from like 11 hours, so 6:50.
Oh boy. We're in the thick of it.
Let me ask you what you need from me outside of the SPP, spacebar presser. Because I want to know if you need me to send you something to get the juices flowing before.
All right.
So I can text you, and I will prepare in full 2 text messages, and I will only send one of them.
Oh. So it's like a choose your own adventure?
So I just need to know your emotional vibes for how you're going to be before you go on stage. A little jittery. You guys are maybe all, connecting your heads in a circle and,
the huddle.
Just like a sports team going out before the big game. No matter what happens, I love y'all. Team on 6. I don't know why they count to 6, but you get it. Everybody's got to be unique. You guys, radio on 5.
Radio on 9.
Right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Radio.
Kill a few more mom and pop shows on 3. Whatever you guys are going to do at 6:50. 7:50. Whatever.
Death to Johnny the Duck and Lisa.
That's right. You guys have been trumpeting for a decade now.
Yeah.
So what do you need from me? Because I will prepare a text message that showers you guys, more you, with praise and well wishes.
Okay.
And how proud I am of you. And
this would be strange.
Okay. So
that one's out.
So that message is going to come through at 6:50.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So an hour and 10 minutes before the lights.
Unless you prefer it at 7:50.
Maybe 7:50.
Okay, I'll do that.
Maybe
so
7:40.
7:40 to make sure that it gets to you and you can process it properly. The other one will be more like how a dad of the 70s and 80s would text you.
Oh, good. That's what I'm more familiar with.
Hey, kid. Heard there's some empty seats. Don't take that to heart. A lot of stuff that could go wrong tonight. A lot of stuff. It's probably going to. Don't beat yourself up about that. It's only mostly your fault. Okay, something along those lines.
Yeah, that's good. Like, well, if you didn't want it to go wrong, you shouldn't have effed it up.
Yeah, either that or, your brother prepared a will for a celebrity today or something like that. You know what I mean? Or no, in this case, it would be like, hey, do you know at 7:50, I'll send you a text. Did you know your brother's handling billions of dollars in people's retirement funds? What are you doing tonight? And then you look over at like the bag of dildos you guys are going to throw to the crowd.
I got a dildo. Hey, Dad, you proud of me?
And you realize, like, how is this going to go? I need to do great because of this message. But it's coming from me, remember? So I don't have any of like the fatherly look down. It's just me saying, hey, it's not a dozen people in a carpet store in Van Wert. It's also going to be weird because I'm going to be standing next to you typing this because I'm the SPP.
Right, yeah. If you want, I can get you on stage as the SPP.
Which of those 2 do you need from me before we go back to my employment for the night? Which of those do you want an encouraging message? Or do you want the kick in the rear, this could be a disaster message?
I know what we do. I think at 7:40, you send a message that says, hello, this is your daily affirmation text service or whatever.
Yeah, which some people utilize and get from actual services.
And then maybe be like a text 1 if you want blah, blah, blah. Text 2 if you want blah, blah, blah.
Like a drop-down menu, yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm just, based on so you have both of them ready to go. Based on my reply, you then, bam, fire it off. So if I feel like I'm good, everything's perfect, everything's set, then I'm going to say whatever the options are that you give me. I'm confident or I'm blah, 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 or I'm a little nervous, I'm struggling.
Yep. I can build you up.
Yeah.
Use those blocks.
Yeah.
And I really hate to throw a wrench in late.
Yeah.
I have another idea for the SPP. And I also don't hate to take away my own employment here. But I want to know it's been a big thing over the last probably 5 years. You see it with like a lot of minor league baseball teams. Like
they don't be a mascot or something.
They don't have like bat boys anymore. Well, some of them don't, because you know what they're utilizing?
Robots,
bat dogs.
Okay, I'm not sure how we're going to incorporate bat dogs.
You need an SPP. We need to train a dog. Crowd's going to lose it, Steve.
So
I don't want to like throw the script out, but think of that crowd when they see a pup, maybe even Tobe.
12 hours.
Yeah, 12 hours. That's like, listen, if I can learn the idiot machine, and what did I learn that thing in 3 hours?
You know something? We may be closer than you think.
Okay.
Because delivered to our house just a couple days ago, my wife bought Toby magic buttons where he can communicate with us. I don't know if we can turn it around.
Okay.
In 12 hours.
So, we've got magic talking Toby, and we got 11 hours to get him to push a space bar in front of thousands of people tonight.
Do you think it's possible?
Job starts now.
Oh. Hey, folks, viewer mail time again. Oh, here's one from Sally, age 14.
Sally.
Dear Pig.
Boy, look at this. We got three pieces.
A big mail haul today, so I figured let's split it up. 3 pieces in a box.
Oh, I'm excited.
I'll leave the box for you, Steve. Let me see if I can put my newfound expertise to use.
Oh, I'm already not liking I feel like... Oh, pretty good, but you got a little crumple at the end.
About 90% at the end. It always clips. Oh, from our friend Billy Stacks, filling those coffers. Our thanks to our friend Billy Stacks, and more importantly, our friends at Broadway FCU. And again, as always, apologies to those folks at the BPPC,
Bill Payment
Sioux
Processing,
Falls, South Dakota.
Yeah. All right. Looks like I got
taking your job away.
Similar envelope over here. There we go.
Man, I don't know how you're just sitting here. I don't know how you agreed to wake up early. And I don't know how you agreed to do this morning when you're going to have to put those pipes. You going green tea tonight before the show?
No, I'll probably go Crown and Sprite. That's
but beforehand to keep your not doing any. Okay.
Yeah, Crown and Sprite. That's usually I feel like that's the best for my.
That is what I believe. Like Stern has recommended over the years, and all of the vocal experts have recommended over the years too, to make sure your vocal cords are ready to go.
Drink.
Yes. Yeah. Alcohol.
This is from our friend Trevor Adams in Dixon/Burns.
Definitely
not Nashville. I feel like Trevor may have fat-fingered the amount when he was entering it because Trevor sent us a large amount.
Trevor, that is coming back to you. I don't feel comfortable taking that much money. We're going to have a discussion about rejecting that check.
Well, speak for yourself. I have, by the time you're hearing this, check's been cashed.
Oh, Trevor, I'm fighting Steve tooth and nail over here. Okay,
Trevor and Billy Stacks, thank you for your continued support. Trevor, weren't you unemployed? This is a bad financial decision, Trevor.
We need to have a discussion with Trevor about his financial decision making. Well, I go through this. Do you want to start getting on the? We have a large box, but we also have, and this I love seeing because we just referenced him, our friend Johnny Chef. So we have a card now. This, Steve, can you explain this one to me? Did this come to you personally, or because this isn't stamped or anything like that?
Johnny Chef sent the side gig a package of different things from Japan, from where him and his wife live. I believe they're in Okinawa.
They're on a warship.
Yes.
And you know what they're doing tomorrow morning, right?
Worship.
As always.
Sunday morning. Oh, well, for him, I mean, Sunday morning's a lot closer.
I bet you right now, Johnny Chef's in bed, getting ready for worship.
Yeah.
On that warship in the next 10 hours.
Because he is our overseas religious military correspondent.
Man, boy, that you want to talk about like really nailing it. Yeah. And if we ever have an overseas like chaplain die somehow, like that's the guy the news crew's got to go to.
I have to assume that tomorrow's episode of Worship is Pope-centric.
Obviously Pope-centric.
Talking about the odds of who's going to take the next popehood.
Boy, we really missed our opportunity, by the way, in not live streaming from just outside the Vatican City walls to talk conclave. missed opportunity. Well, to get the next one.
But anyway, Johnny Chef sent us a bunch of stuff on the side gig, and included in there was a nice letter or envelope with Steve and Kyle podcast written on it.
Yeah. Let me while you get that box open, let me see. Okay, so oh boy, that is a lovely Christmas card as well from Johnny Chef and his wife and the 2 pups.
A little bit
boy,
late. A little bit late, Johnny.
Do you know what I adore about a dog named Steve? Or a dog name that I never considered, but every time I see it, I smile.
I love dogs that have people names, and I love dogs that have inanimate object names like truck or ribs. I always think it's really funny when you see a dog, like, especially if it fits their personality. Like if it's a big muscly dog and they just name it Brick.
Let me spitch one at you, and I want to see if you get the same like kind of physical reaction. Mm-hmm. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year from Okinawa, Japan. John and Katie Chef. Waffles.
Wow, that's brilliant.
Isn't it?
It's so good.
Because, so it's Waffles and Patsy, and John, and well, mostly Katie, because we know how that works, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, John, hey, can you move halfway across the world for me? She says yes. She's now running the show, though, because she's now agreed to, you know, a life move. Katie, you need to adopt Pancake.
If you don't have Pancake and then maybe hash browns.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Just call them Little Hash.
And then, if you really want to make the family, Bacon.
Yeah, Bacon's a great name.
Steve and Kyle, I think I caught some flack because I did not send a new card this year. We are delayed because of the move to Japan. I will start work on Warship Worship immediately.
Beautiful.
And can we get letterhead?
Oh, that's nice. That's like a cardstock too.
Mix that in with the handwriting that just feels. I feel like
it's nice.
I don't want to step out of line. I feel like we're in the military with them.
Boy, I don't know if
you know what I mean. You agree?
No.
Man, Johnny, thank you for the warm welcome to the military.
That's all it takes. Is they just send you a card,
handwritten card on letterhead with delightful handwriting and just a nice, not even a signature, but a name. God, I love everything about this guy.
I need to do more handwritten letters.
We do. Should we do? Well, we again, another untied loose end. You and I are supposed to be doing love letters for podcast hosts in the same vein of...
We are?
Yeah.
We talked about that?
In the same vein as like a love letter to buy a home. But we wanted to do that, how this is the only podcast host.
Yeah.
But along with that, look at that. 3D Marine Expeditionary Brigade, a delightfully beautiful
cool
patch.
I like that.
That is awesome with a big green dragon on it. I don't know what the 3D Marine Expeditionary Brigade does.
You think he's a 3D printer?
He's got to be a printer's man.
He's like a military grade 3D printer.
Did this come off a 3D printer? Man, is that Pat G? I mean, it's no big deal. Johnny knows what we're talking about because he's a 3D printer. But
by the way, at some point, we have to post pictures of your latest masterpiece.
Oh, yeah, this is delightful as we ran out of filament halfway through.
This took like 3 days to print because of my lackluster response time.
Not even lackluster response time. I did not realize how big these were. This is all on me.
They're massive.
They are huge.
But after the show, we'll take a picture.
Yeah, these are also lifelong things that we're going to be using. These are awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you, Johnny.
Right.
These are tremendous, and please spread the word in Japan about the Steve and Kyle podcast.
So over here, this is a box coming from our friends in Hawthorne, New York, on Skyline Drive, of course, as you know.
Yes.
Crown Awards. This is sent to Will Egan at the Steve and Kyle podcast.
Okay, and I know what that insinuates because in the 4 years prior, Steve, that's insinuated a new podcast award for the winner of the Pole Badness tournament. But the only difference this year, Steve, we didn't do it this year.
Here, if you'd like to look through the Crown Awards catalog for 2025.
Oh my God, yeah, because we're going to send our order in for next year to Will. I'm just going to search. Like, this is like when you were a kid and you got, well, back in the day it would be the Montgomery Ward or
East Bay.
Sears, East Bay. We're going to circle what we want. We're going to mail this back to Will so he can get a different award for us next year.
Okay, so within the box, there's another box.
It's the box within a box prophecy. I am very curious about what this is, Steve, because again, we did not do Pole Badness this year in order to fulfill one of your New Year's resolutions.
Okay.
I'm wondering is it the same shape?
Oh, it's exactly. I mean, it's going to fit in.
It's an identical.
It's going to fit in.
I am excited.
Okay, the 20.
Who's getting the award? That's what I'm wondering.
See, as you can see, 2025 at the top.
Uh-huh.
And the Steve and Kyle podcast Poll Badness Tournament 2025 winner. And the quote, "Do you want us to continue Poll Badness every year on our social media channels and podcast?" Yes, 71%. No, 29%. Number one seed, we don't listen to our listeners' division.
Oh, well, first, I'd like to thank Steve to start.
Oh, thank you.
Because without you, we wouldn't be here today.
It was really 71%.
I don't remember. Boy, that is extra level outstanding work by Will to go back and find that poll, to look at the results,
Because obviously we didn't.
and to realize that we did not listen to our listeners who claim they enjoy this poll or this tournament every year. So,
All right, maybe we'll bring it back for 2026.
I'd like to thank Steve
Oh,
for all the hard work we had over the past 4 to 6 years doing these Poll Badness tournaments.
I mean, we had a good run.
And I hope you enjoyed the year off, because apparently we're back at it
Okay.
in 2026, courtesy of our friend Will Egan.
Okay.
That is a fantastic gift. I can't think. That's outstanding.
Now, I know that they're going to play us off here in a minute with the music, but I mean, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank you, Kyle. This is